Alright, this is it. This is the last video that I am filming for 2025. And it's also the 51st video on this channel, which is fucking insane when you think about it, because I only started uploading in October. So I originally set the goal that I wanted to do roughly 50 videos by the middle of 2026, and we've done 50 in the first quarter of 2025, which is insane. So really, I'm going to be at least 100 videos past the original goal that I set. 50 videos feels like a real milestone, not because of views or subscribers, but just because I'm starting to get in the flow with this. I'm clearer on camera. I definitely feel much better on camera, and I also feel sharper with how I think and how I articulate on camera. I do feel like, especially watching back some of the earlier ones, each video is better than the last. And ultimately that was the goal. I made absolutely zero effort to promote this channel this year. In fact, I was hoping that it would stay completely dead. So I did no cross posting, no pushing or promoting on my other socials, literally absolutely nothing. And I'm actually glad about that, because early on I was learning, and to be honest, I still am. I'd never spoken to a camera before this year, and so having the space to refine the craft without a whole bunch of people watching was a massive bonus. It was honestly a huge advantage. And now, even though, at the time of recording this video, this channel still has virtually no views or subscribers. I think we have like 15 subscribers or something. The point is, we've got into a bit of a rhythm, and starting next year, I will be putting a bit more effort into the production of these videos. But ultimately, we're not starting from nothing. We've already got a base flywheel starting to spin, which is cool. And with all the shit that I think is going to happen next year, it's going to be quite cool to have this record and to basically capture everything as we go along. On the 1st of January this year, I left corporate and I started working for myself. No plan, no system, and no safety net. I, at the very beginning, only had one client, and it was literally my old employer, basically on a glorified contractor arrangement. I remember being in a villa in Bali back in January of this year, financially fragile, almost maxed out credit card, and thinking, have I actually broken out? Because my entire adult life was, I need to escape the fucking matrix, I need to escape corporate, the rat race, whatever you want to call it, this 9 to 5 grind that's just feels like a fucking treadmill with capped upside and is getting me nowhere. I have to escape. And I didn't actually think about what was next. And I remember being in Bali at the start of this year, just a few weeks into the year, and thinking, holy fuck, have I actually done it? Or is this all just a temporary illusion? Is it just gonna collapse? And at that moment, I genuinely didn't know whether it was real, whether I was free, or whether I was about to regress. And ultimately, the year turned on one thing: client acquisition. The moment that I actually went out into the market, found strangers, pitched and closed work, something snapped into place. That was the confirmation. That was the moment that I realized that I am never going back. Because once you know that you can generate opportunity on demand like that, corporate stops being something that you will fall back on, and it just stops being an option at all. That single capability, that very first data point that I got, I think it changed my entire life trajectory. That was the point where I knew this is permanent. And when I reflect back on the year, the receipts that I have, even though I still feel broke and I still feel like there is so much to do, to see the delta between where I was and where I am now is insane. And I'll anchor this with something concrete in this video. These are my actual bank accounts, roughly a year ago versus a few months back. On the left, you can see I have no buffer, no margin of safety, literally 3 accounts with fucking negative balances. As bad as it could get. Constant background stress. I mean, this is just a joke. On the right, cash in the bank, credit cards cleared. Not rich, but not stressed, not panicking, stable. I'm not showing this as a flex. I'm showing it as the difference between fragility and stability, and to show just how quickly you can turn your situation around. Once that pressure comes off, everything else becomes so much easier because you free so much mental bandwidth. Ultimately, that cash buffer didn't make me rich at all, but it did free my head. And once I had that bandwidth, I started thinking about leverage. At the start of this year, I wasn't even fluent in the concept. It wasn't a word that I used in my vocabulary. But by the end of this year, it is now a central concept that everything in my life revolves around. At the beginning of 2025, I couldn't even imagine hiring. I mean, how could you when your fucking credit card's maxed out and you've got no money at all? Now at the end of the year, I work with 4 contractors consistently. I have literally thousands of dollars a month in payroll. Sales, content, and admin are no longer on my plate, and delivery is the next thing to go in the first quarter of 2026. This year was really the transition from doing everything myself to building something that can actually scale. And that shift changes how you think about time. And I think that there's another visible change worth showing. So these photos are a little bit more than a year apart, and this also did not happen accidentally. It was consistent training, consistent diet, 0 deviation for months. And the difference was never who I was as a person, but it was removing the external constraint on my schedule. That was what made this ultimately possible. Once corporate stopped owning my time, I finally had the bandwidth to execute properly. And there was something else I didn't expect, which I realized just in this last quarter of the year. I didn't notice it day to day. I noticed it when I saw an older photo of myself, and then I looked up at the mirror and I said, I don't look like that anymore. I look way different, younger. Despite time having passed, I look noticeably younger. And I hadn't realized how much constant stress and chaos and drinking had shown up on my face as aging. And ultimately, once that disappeared, so did the wear. It wasn't permanent. I just needed to stop fucking myself constantly. So ultimately, when I reflect on all of this, this has without a doubt been the best year of my life so far. But because for the first time in my life, I'm finally in a position where success is actually possible. Before all of this, I was playing the wrong game. This year, I broke out of it, and I'm never going back. So going into 2026, I'm excited, but I'm also a bit anxious, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank the pressure up. But the difference now is that I know that what I'm doing already works. The systems are built, the direction is clear, and the game is right. All that remains is throughput. I need to push reps and daily execution through my existing systems at volume. And it's going to be fun to record all of this as it unfolds. Anyway, I'm about to pack my bag and head to New Zealand for Christmas and New Year's, so I will see you guys in 2026 when I'm back in Colombia in my new apartment. I will hopefully have a better setup. Anyway, that's a bit of a recap. I will leave it here. I'm about to pack my bag and head to New Zealand for Christmas and New Year's, so I will see you guys at the start of 2026 when I get back to Colombia. I'm going to have a new apartment. I've got some new filming gear, so hopefully the production's going to look a bit better going forward. And yeah, have a good Christmas and New Year's, and I'll see you guys in 2026.